Hey guys, welcome back to Treadmill Review Guru. I'm Sydney, and today we're checking out the Bells of Steel Blitz Manual Treadmill. This is a motorless treadmill. It's also new on the market and first from the brand, but it's not your average manual treadmill. It has magnetic resistance, so you get extra tension to move the belt against, so you can do things like sled pushing. In this review, I'm gonna go over everything that you need to know and let you know what we think of it, plus let you see and hear it in action. All right, so let's dive in and check out the construction on the Bells of Steel Blitz Manual Treadmill. It doesn't fold up, so it's going to stay like this. It's fairly large, but it's actually pretty comparable in size to other manual treadmills like the TrueForm Trainer and the Assault Runner Elite, which we have reviews of those on our YouTube channel, so make sure you check those out. But the footprint is 70 inches long, 30 inches wide, and 62 inches high. This is a pretty heavy treadmill. It's 325 pounds. It can be moved. It has a built-in handle in the back and then front transportation wheels, so you can tilt up the back end to be able to engage those wheels to move it around. However, it's going to be best, I think, in a designated space just because it is pretty heavy. But it's nice to have that handle there and nice to be able to move around. We found that the wheels do engage pretty well. Definitely what contributes to the weight is the steel frame, which is comparable to other treadmills. They typically have steel frames. There's also underneath the belt, there's 200 steel bearings, and this definitely, I think, helps contribute to how smooth the belt feels when you're using it, and also helps contribute to that weight. This is a hearty treadmill. It handles up to 400 pounds of user weight, so it's gonna be appropriate for most, and it's appropriate for commercial settings as well as home use. It's also a bit of a splurge, especially compared to other models, so just keep that in mind, and you can check our affiliate link for that current price. This is a non-motorized treadmill. With the belt, you propel it yourself, you set the pace, and it can go as fast as you can. So say you want to run faster than what motorized treadmills offer. They typically cap out at like 12, maybe 15 miles per hour. This one will go as fast as you can. So it's really great for sprinting and also walking and running. It can handle a lot of use, like I said, so you'll be able to train for a race on it, do a lot of distance running. If you have multiple users in your household that want to use the treadmill and kind of hop on this and use it throughout the day, or use it in a facility, we definitely think that this can handle it. It's solid, it's sturdy, and it has a lot of options as far as training, which I'm gonna get into in a moment. But starting with talking about the deck, the belt itself is 17 inches wide and 65 inches long. It's really comparable with other manual treadmills. They typically have narrower decks to kind of keep you in a linear pattern when you're running. And the length is very similar to like the Assault Runner Elite. So there's plenty of room for most users and most stride lengths. And with this belt, we've just noticed the slats are a little bit smaller than like on the TrueForm Trainer. Also, this manual treadmill has a pretty high curve. Like the TrueForm trainers, they have the shallowest curve on the market, or are said to. This one has a high curve that Bells of Steel says is 17 degrees. And we're also gonna do a little comparison with the TrueForm Runner in a moment, so make sure you stick around for that so you can kind of see both of these treadmills and how they compare. It's gonna be a quick comparison. But what I've noticed is that with this angle of this curve to the deck, that you can feel it underfoot. So typically when you're running, maybe getting up to speed, you'll run a little bit closer to the front of the treadmill on manual treadmills. Some people will even hang on to the handles just to get up to speed. And then once you settle back into a pace, you'll kind of settle back to the lowest part of the curve. I found that even, once I settle back into a consistent pace, my foot kind of hits right around here. So I can feel a little bit of that angle. It doesn't quite feel like an incline on a motorized treadmill that offers, an incline range. It doesn't quite feel like that. It just kind of feels like a slight angle, and I've noticed it like kind of engages a little bit more of my posterior chain, so the back part of my legs, which definitely is not a bad thing. And also it makes the belt feel a little bit easier to get going, especially compared to TrueForms, which we've noticed are definitely harder to get moving, especially like compared to the Assault Runner Elite. With this one, it feels fairly easy, especially when you have that magnetic resistance on a low level, which I'm gonna get into that in a moment. But I think the angle of the curve kind of has a little bit of kind of momentum, so you can use gravity with that angle to get that belt moving a little bit quickly. So getting up and sprinting on this one I found is easier than on a TrueForm treadmill. And what makes the Bells of Steel a little bit more unique is it has that adjustable magnetic resistance. So you have the lever right here. You have 6 different levels to choose from with the magnetic resistance, and once it's on, it just makes that belt really hard to move against, especially when you're up to like level 6, and that's where you can do sled pushing. I've noticed I can run, walk, and jog on levels 1 through 3. Definitely between levels 3 and 4, we've noticed that the magnetic resistance really kicks on, and I can walk at that pace. I notice I can't quite jog. And then once it gets up to level 5 and level 6, at least for me, I found that then I need to utilize the handles, which are definitely functional. So once you have it on, that's where I can put my hands here and I can sled push, so it feels like I'm pushing a sled, and then I can also flip around and do sled pulls. So definitely fires up those leg muscles and just makes it more challenging and gives you more to work with than your typical manual treadmill that doesn't offer magnetic resistance. So really fun option. We've been really enjoying that. With these handles, I've noticed that they offer kind of plenty of areas to grip. We did notice with our taller users like Matthew, who is 6'5", when he uses these handles here, he has to bend his arms, otherwise he doesn't quite have enough length with the deck to be able to sled push. So if he wants to extend his arms out in front of him, he'll have to just reach for the bar up here. So just something to keep in mind. I noticed with my height, I'm only about 5'1", I can do both. I think I prefer bending my arms when I sled push, but I think that's just my personal preference. And also, I think the high angle of the belt definitely gives you a little bit more leverage when you're using the magnetic resistance, so it definitely just comes in handy to be able to get that belt moving. Bells of Steel offers a 5-year warranty for the frame and 1-year warranty for parts. This is a little less expensive than what other brands offer. We also do recommend 2 people set it up because it's heavy and it's large, and that will just kind of make the process a little bit smoother. So diving into the console on the Bells of Steel Blitz Manual Treadmill, it is battery powered, which makes it really nice so you don't have to worry about being near a plug. It just turns on once that belt starts moving. It also has just a little bit of adjustability. A lot of these tend to be kind of in a fixed position, so it's nice to have just it's a small amount of range, but just to help with any overhead glare, and you can also get it positioned more at your eye level. It is non-backlit, so in a darker room it's gonna be a little bit harder to see, although I don't necessarily recommend using a treadmill in a dark room. One thing we did notice that is a little bit kind of like an inconvenience, I guess, is that when the monitor turns on, and then I'm moving the belt right now, it doesn't start tracking your metrics until you press start. So now that I press start, now you can see all of these numbers get reflected for my speed, the current distance, pace. So I'm used to treadmills, especially manual treadmills, even the Bells of Steel Blitz Airbike 2.0, when I hop on, the monitor will automatically start tracking my metrics. I don't have to press any buttons. Was expecting that with this, but just know that when you hop on, you do have to press start. So it's not quite hop on and go, it's hop on and press start and go, but just notice that, probably being a little nitpicky here, but overall, using this console is really straightforward and easy. It tracks all of the metrics I like to see, like my time, my pace. Also the watts is nice to see, and you have your resistance level so you can tell which level that you can see with that magnetic resistance. And there are some custom settings. So up here, there are Tabatas, inverted Tabatas. You can choose how many intervals you would like to do with those. And then you can also do custom intervals where you can change the time of each of them and how many you want. And it'll tell you up here whether you're on the working portion or the rest portion of those. Plus you have targeted time, so you can change that, and then these buttons just change the time. You can do a distance target, also an estimated calories target, and then heart rate, and it will pair with a compatible heart rate tracker. So it doesn't come with one, unfortunately, but you can do heart rate tracking. Overall, it's functional and the console tracks everything that you need to see. All right, now I'm going to let you see and hear how the Bells of Steel Blitz Manual Treadmill performs. I'm gonna run through the magnetic resistance too. But first, if you like this video and find it helpful, give it a like and subscribe to our channel. We create treadmill reviews like this for you so you can see and hear how treadmills perform before you take them home. I'm just on level 1, which is the lowest level for the magnetic resistance. So it just feels like a standard manual treadmill this way. Let you listen to that belt moving when I'm walking. And now I'm gonna pick up the pace. All right, now I'm gonna let you see that magnetic resistance. So I can walk, run, and sprint on level 1. This is level 2. I can even pick up the pace here. And with level 3. But level 4 definitely kind of packs an extra punch. So this is where I think that extra angle with the curve of the deck kind of helps get a little bit of leverage, and then also the handles especially. So the tension, once it's added on, so this is level 5, it's tough. And level 6 is just like a full-on sled push. So I can grip here, I can grip here. I can also turn around and do a sled pull. But as you can see, you have a lot of different training options, and this treadmill will definitely get you sweating. Now here's another one of our reviewers, Matt, who's 6'5". He is going to walk and run at the lowest resistance. You can hear the Blitz. And now he's going to add on that resistance, continue walking, and then get into a sled push so you can see where he likes to place his hands on those handles. All right, now we just want to do a quick comparison with the Bells of Steel Blitz Manual Treadmill with the TrueForm Runner. So TrueForms have, at least time of this video, the shallowest amount of curve on the deck, and the Blitz has probably one of the highest amount of curves, as a 17-degree curve, and you can see the difference here. With the shallow curve, TrueForm claims that this will correct your running form and promote a mid-foot strike. Overall, when we're running on them, it feels harder to get the belt moving, especially compared to the Blitz. I do think that that angle of the curve has something to do with it. You get a little bit more momentum with this high curve at the front of the Blitz Manual Treadmill, and overall, it's just easier to get going. I can get up to speed a little bit easier. You might notice that when I hop on both of these in a moment. And also I'm gonna hop on them so you can hear the noise difference. The Blitz just has a little bit different noise. Manual treadmills, they're not too loud. However, the Blitz we found to kind of have a lower amount of foot noise, which is nice. The Runner is also fairly quiet. You can just hear my foot noise a little bit more, so I'm gonna let you listen to that in a moment. And also something that I forgot to mention earlier when talking about the construction. On the Blitz, manual treadmills with cushioning, they have a rubber coating on the slat belts. Also, the Runner does as well, and this helps absorb that shock that you get from the impact from running. So they feel a little bit firmer underfoot compared to motorized treadmills, especially ones that have a high amount of cushioning, like the Nordic Track incline trainers, for instance. So they're a little bit different feeling underfoot, and also if you've never been on a manual treadmill before, they take a little bit of getting used to because you control the belt. So just keep that in mind. So I'm gonna hop on the runner first. So the only amount of noise that you're hearing is just the movement from the belt. Pick up my speed. And also with the shallow angle of the curve, I feel like I can run a little bit more up on the front part of the deck, especially to get up to speed, because it is harder to get that belt going. And you can see my feet kind of hit still at a little bit of that angle, so this one I definitely noticed the angle of the curve more than the runner. And I can also get up to speed a little bit easier, so there you have it, just a quick comparison between the Blitz and the TrueForm runner. Thanks for watching our review of the Bells of Steel Blitz Manual Treadmill. Some things that we really like is that this is a motorless treadmill, plus it has adjustable magnetic resistance to give you even more tension when you're moving the belt, so you can do things like sled pushing and get even more of a challenge when you walk and run. Also, this is great for heavy use, so runners, athletes, fitness professionals, and fitness enthusiasts who want an added challenge and want to be able to run as fast as they can. This is a great option because that belt is controlled by you and it will move as fast as you can. The handles are multifunctional, so they come in handy, no pun intended, for the sled pushing if you want to, use this in reverse to work the front part of your leg muscles, as well as getting, extra tension with that belt. Those handles are definitely multifunctional. Plus, the console is easy to use. It doesn't require electricity and it has customized settings. Some things to keep in mind is that this one is a little bit of a splurge, especially compared to comparable manual treadmills on the market, and the warranty is a little less extensive than what other brands offer. Also, I think I'm probably being a little nitpicky here. When you hop on, that console lights up. You do have to press start in order for your metrics to start tracking. So I'm kind of used to being able to hopping on and going. With this one, you hop on, press start, and go. So really kind of nitpicky here, and there's really not much that we found that we didn't like about the Bells of Steel. It is appropriate for home use in commercial settings, and it's a really great option if you're looking for an added challenge with that magnetic resistance, like I said. And if you want to learn more about the Bells of Steel, head to treadmillreviewguru.com. We have a full written review there. And you could check the link in the description. We have an affiliate link that really helps out our channel. If you click that, and you can check out the current price on the Blitz Manual Treadmill. And if you like this video and find it helpful, give it a like and subscribe to our channel. We create reviews like this for you so you can see and hear and know everything about a treadmill or any other fitness equipment before you take it home. I'm Sydney with Treadmill Review Guru. I'll see you next time.